Dear Melissa, I'm moving from an in-house B2B product manager to a product owner for a small boutique IT consultant. What are some key skills to develop to make sure I hit the ground running with new clients to ensure that I can move through discovery effectively and understand a range of different industries quickly? All right, so as somebody who's been consulting for quite a while, I have to get up to speed on different industries all the time, very quickly. And to me, that's very exciting because I like learning about all of these different solutions and value that we deliver. So, my biggest piece of advice here is that first, always center on the customer and the value that the product provides. So you're going to want to learn about who is that customer, really deeply understand what does the solution that they're trying to propose or that they already have do for that customer? How does it provide value and why is that important to them? If you can anchor on that, then you can start to think about how does that customer use it? Where does it fit into their life? And then you expand from there. So even if I was getting caught up into healthcare, like I've had to learn so many different things about healthcare and I don't have a healthcare background. When I was looking at that, I was always saying, who are we solving this problem for? So in one company that I came into, it was an electronic health record system. And that one, I knew that doctors were using it, nurses were using it. But then I also had to learn how insurance companies were using it and how we process payments and how we did billing. And for me, I mapped out all those different roles that were contributing to it. And then I try to understand why we were valuable, right? What did our solution do that provided value? How did they use the workflows? Where did it fit in their daily lives? What were the points of contacts with it? So I'm a very user experience driven person as well. So I want to see the flows. I want to see how people are using it. So I would go into the product and I'd start to look through it. One way that I found that you can really get up to speed quickly as well is to work with the sales team. So in a lot of organizations that I'd come into, especially this one, when I said wanted to learn what kind of value we provided and why it was different, I went to the sales team and I said, "Can you do your presentation for me as if I was a customer? Walk me through it, walk me through how it works, why you're better, why this solution's the right one." And they usually have packaged up in those sales calls why you're important, right? Why it actually matters. So it's a great way to get up to speed really quickly on what the product is, why it's important, why it's helping to provide value in unique ways to the customers. And from there, then I'd go back and I'd dig into it with customer support. I'd dig into it with product managers that were working there, user researchers. I'd listen to customer calls if I was not doing the product management work myself, just to get up to speed with what was going on. So that is where you can wrap your head around what the industry is and what's happening there pretty quickly. And I'd also go out and do my research. So if I knew what their competitors were, I would read reviews about how they were perceived in the market. So I'd go to G2 Software is a good one where you can read reviews about what people think of the products, what's failing, what's working. And then that helps get you up to speed about what's good and what's bad pretty quickly as well. So that's one of my biggest pieces of advice. Focus on the customer here in new industries, focus on what the value is for them. I try to wrap my head around, is this a workflow for them? Is it something that replaces part of their job? Is it a way to streamline getting them to an answer quickly? What's the value? What's the piece of the pie here that's really going to make a difference for them compared to what they could be doing? And then if you center on that, helps you really understand the landscape of things, and then you can dig into the problems faster. I'd also say my other piece of advice is if you're moving from in-house to consultancy, really set the right expectations with your customers up front. So in a lot of consultancies, people will hire you to build software and they might already have an idea in their head. They're like, "Oh, we don't need discovery. You don't have to go out and do these things. Just build me the right thing." So make sure that you have set expectations up front about how you work, how you want this to work, why it's important to actually get in touch with your customers, their customers, and understand them better so that you could do this properly. So make sure that you set that off on the right foot so that you could do the best work possible. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you enjoy getting up to speed on all these different industries just like I did.